All right, we begin here in Nigeria with insecurity. It's becoming worrying times for Nigerians at home and abroad over the current state of insecurity pervading almost all parts of Africa's largest economy. Here in Lagos, the Commissioner of Police, HAKEEM, ODUMOSI, while appraising the security situation in the state at a security forum, raised an alarm over rising security breaches resulting from the menace of motorcycle riders, popularly called Okada operators in the state. Lagos police boss stated that crime reports indicate that a large number of crimes are linked to armed hoodlums who operate on these motorcycles. For more on this insecurity situation in Lagos State, HAKEEM ODUMOSI, Commissioner of Police, Lagos State Command, joins us now live. Good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. My first question to you is, what is the strategy that you intend to execute to reduce the amount of crimes that has been attributed to these motorcycle operators, Okadas, so to speak?
Thank you very much, and the gorgeous and the listener. So what security strategies are you put on to reduce the menace of Okada in Lagos State? Well, for security reasons now, I may not have to disclose all. But the rest assured that we have adequate security in place and waiting for pronouncements. So what the government is going to say about the Okada issue. But for now, what we are doing right now is enforcing the law, banning Okada and restricting Okada from 6 local governments in Lagos State, which precisely now includes the VI, the Ikoyi, so some part of Lekki, so Lekki entirely, some part of Aja, as well as Surulere area. So, and all the bridges, that's what we are doing right now. But if any further pronouncement is made by the state governments, we are ready with all other security agencies in the state to enforce the law.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. There's also been, I think we've got some tweets here from an intelligence agency that have been putting out reports about kidnappings that have been taking place even here in Lagos. Some of them taking place with via vehicles that are tinted, with tinted windows and so on and so forth. So this menace isn't just Okadas and motorcycles, Commissioner. Are you aware of these kidnappings that have been happening?
No, mostly, I don't know for reasons best known, most of those things they are circulating are even some old stories that are being recirculated. But because our own now, we work with empirical evidences. So if something happened to somebody now, and we have evidences now in respect of that, those are the ones that we work on. But notwithstanding, so any information that I had, I recently got that information that in Ozubambadwe, so during the traffic, so somebody sent one to maybe about Osborne, so when I'm verging to the Ikoyi, coming from Mobalinde, and as well as Lekki Phase 1, precisely, so at Admiralty Way. So all those ones have been taken care of. So we have deployed more men now to make feasibility study, feasibility policing. Now, the issue of the tinted glasses, as well as those without plate number. So those are what the laws have frowned at from the beginning. And we have been enforcing this. And we shall continue to enforce it. So those with tinted glasses, there are regulations for those who want to do that tinted glasses, who want to operate with it. And that regulation now has to be registered, licensed by appropriate authorities. So you call plate numbers. Many move without plate numbers, and some even move with plate numbers that are customized, or the plate number that they don't have any bearing at the various local government registration offices. All those ones now, we are already enforcing that. And we are going to do that. Anybody that moves about on the road without plate number, or with a plate number that's not registered, or with a vehicle that is tinted, without requisite license by appropriate authorities or the government. So we shall continue to clamp on that. Because, as Riley pointed out now, so all those things are part of what they use for criminal activities in the country and not the state alone. But for the kidnapping, we know a report of that just on social media, and we are not relenting on that. And we are not refusing that. We are not rejecting that. But from our record, so kidnapping in Lagos is seriously on almost a 0.010 level, kidnapping in Lagos. But those on social media they are talking about, so we are not disputing, but we don't have any empirical evidence of that, and we have intensified efforts on those 3 areas, so which they emphasized in the past 1 week. Osuma, by the way, so Osborne into Ikoyi, as well as Lekki, phase 1, that is precisely Admiralty Way.
All right. Thank you so much, Governor. So if I take what you said, you are going to focus on vehicles with tinted windows, also going to focus on unlicensed vehicles without license plates as well, if I hear you. I want to ask you about Manpower, Commissioner. One of my colleagues here was late to the office this morning because he was coming through Oshodi. There were reports of violence taking place there that actually caused him to get to the office late. Commissioner, do you have enough manpower? We just talked about Lekki Phase 1 and Ikoyi, the Oshodi, other environs where bouts of violence and insecurity break out. Do you have enough manpower to be able to secure? It's a big state, right? So do you have enough manpower to be able to clamp down on these outbreaks of violence and so on?
When we are talking about manpower, the one that you need to do now to tackle what's on the ground we have. But in every society, there's always shortage of human and material resources. Human and material resources is never sufficient in any human, even in your organization. In your organization now, you see that there are some people, so maybe 1 or 2 people now doing the job that 3 or 4 people want to do. So in every human endeavor, there's always inadequate human and material resources. But the one that is available, so that's where the managers have to come in, deploying them to where they are needed in order to achieve the target goals. That is management of human resources and material resources. What happened in Oshodi today? Just a skirmish. So it didn't happen yesterday, it didn't happen day before yesterday, it didn't happen last week there now. So there are skirmishes that one-off that comes up here and there. And mainly that's what happened now as at the time. So it happened now, we realized that that was the period where people are going to their places of work. And equally, immediately now, I mobilized from all the other adjoining divisions up to Ikeja, up to the RRS, as well as the task force. And in the GV now, the situation was brought under control. But between that 5-10 minutes that happens now, definitely I'm putting into consideration the volume of traffic in Lagos. Even if the vehicle breaks down, or a tire needed to be changed under 5 minutes, or they need to tow the vehicle, or to even push it off the road, to create passage for other road users. Within 5 minutes they are pushing off, you will see the backlog of vehicles on that road. That is the extent of volume of traffic in Lagos State. So that must be what have contributed to that. The immediate information got to us now, so we rose to it and we brought it under control without any loss of life, though 1 or 2 vehicles, glasses were smashed. So that one is under investigation. So we have manpower now to adequately take care of. I know police, if we have manpower that, if you have situation where we are overwhelmed, so by manpower now, we have adjoining states that can easily mobilize to us. But there's no incident of that for now. For now, we have manpower to handle situations. So not the policeman in Oshodi. We will go now to Osuba Badwe. Not the one in Osuba Badwe, we go to Korodu. Not the policeman in Korodu, so we go to Ekwe. Not the one in Ekwe, we go to Badagry. Neither with the one in Agege now, so I have to move now into Ayobo. So all those areas, we have policemen everywhere. And we still mobilize to arrive to any incidents that requires prompt security attention.
Thank you for that, Commissioner. I also wanted to ask about these issues of, in local parlance, one chance when it comes to buses. Unfortunately, another colleague here at the office was taking a bus in the morning, coming to the office, and he went into a bus that was unmarked and was robbed. All his belongings were taken from him, debit cards and so on and so forth. What about the issue of the downfall buses in Lagos State and being able to register them so you know who owns what bus if they're involved in robberies? Because that's another thing that's affecting people of Lagos State, especially people that take public transportation to work and so on.
You know, as police officer, it's not our own statutory responsibility to register the buses. or to license them. But we are working in tandem or in conjunction with Lagos State Ministry of Transportation, as well as the leadership of the unions. There are two dominant unions recognized by law in transport section. That's the National Union of Road Transport Workers, as well as the Road Transport Employer Association of Nigeria, which we call ROTIAN and NURTW. So we are working with that. So the much we do in that is that policeman cannot be inside everybody that be on the road. But it is the responsibility of the Ministry of Transportation, which they are doing, and more importantly now, the union leaders on the streets, at the buses, at the bus stops, at the garages or where they load, to frisk everybody that comes in. So now I said that it's a tripartite relationship. We are working with the union leaders now. We are currently working with the Ministry of Transportation for the registration. So that if incident happens like that, you can easily put the registration number of the vehicle now into tracking and know where the vehicle, so with the route normally apply, in line equally with. So in conjunction with the road transport and routine leadership. So that's what we are. But what we do at random is at bus stops. This is a bus stop now where we put our men. So at bus stop random, we stop vehicles at random to ask 1 or 2 questions. Is everybody okay? How there's then they move on. We'll be doing this. So at random now to pick. So just like robbery in traffic. So what you have to do is that when it is the time that the peak period, when there's always slow movements, traffic now, we have our men, the mufti around. So that's what we are now using now to get the one chance. We just arrested 2 of them. So within my 2, so between Fagbems and my 2, when they are now verging now into satellite Festac side on this one chance. So we keep on arresting them. We keep on, but in every society now, there must be pockets of here and there. We too are not going to relent. Because the normal adage says, if a bird learns how to fly without perching, the hunter should learn how to choose without to shoot without missing. So we too will continue to be on their trails. But what I want to appeal to members of the public is that once such thing happens, we should take the patience and the time off to report. And equally, just tell us 1 or 2 things about the vehicles, particulars of the vehicles. Not necessarily the number, you cannot get the plate number. But the circumstances, the description that make us now to get the route, the time, the bus stop, where the passenger, all those information. But mostly when it happens, the victim don't go to report. What do we see now? We see on social media. And the information on social media will not be adequate enough now to trace. So that's why we are being proactive, working with the union leaders now, and putting our people in mufti at each bus stops, so that in traffic, when there's any alarm raised, we easily come on. And that's what made us not to arrest those. We arrested between Fagbems and my 2 on the fight now to Festac. So we want members of the public to equally assist. When it happens now, let us have. If they have been a victim today, the information given to us, we will work on. We deter them now, we arrest them now, and that person will not be a victim. But most people have been a victim, they rob me, they collected my item. What am I going to tell police to? Right. Tomorrow, somebody closer, a blood related to that person now, they call it be a victim. That's why I want members of the public to let us that information.
Right. Okay, Commissioner, what about the number? I mean, yes, you've made the point now about having to report this with the responsibility of victims to do that. But quickly, what about phone numbers, lines of communication through which Lagosians can reach your units for assistance to make reports and so on and so forth? Can you give out any of those lines of communication?
So maybe I need to send that to you because we have 20 lines. In Lagos, we have 4 control centers. That 4 control centers now, that's where we go on air to relate every other thing. And each of them now has 2 dedicated lines, which are on 24 hours basis. And I will give in after this program now, so you can assist us to scroll it. So in the course of your news one now, the 8 numbers for all the control rooms, they are on 24 hours. All the area commanders' lines now are on. My lines are on 24 hours. And we currently have the 767 now and 112 that is on. So about 20 numbers now, I will give it after this program now. You can stroll us at least one of the 20 numbers somebody will pick. Especially the 8 numbers for the control rooms, they are on 24 hours. So if there's any complaint, not only on this, robbery, accidents, fire incidents, collapsed building, the earlier you get information, so the earlier we respond. And the earlier we respond now, the earlier so we rectify the issue. So those numbers now, people should have it. So in their palms, have it in their notebooks now, have it around. So that once anything happens, they can even put it on their phones. They can still call police control room and put the numbers there. So with those numbers now, I'll give you the 20 numbers. So that assist us now to further broadcast the members of the public. And people should just take interest. Because we realize that many people don't take interest in it until somebody closer to them or the sender become a victim. Whom do I call? Whom do I call? What's the number? And we keep on giving the number out. So I want to appeal to you to assist us now to further give out the number so that members of the public should take interest because security is a collective responsibility.
Thank you so much, sir. HAKEEM ODUMOSI, Commissioner of Police for Lagos State, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us about the security situation in the commercial capital of Africa's largest economy.